Celtics 125-117. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Raptors Rundown. I'm your host, Yousuf, and the Toronto Raptors, undermanned, no Scotty Barnes, no Jakob Poeltl, no Brandon Ingram. We fought our hardest, but in the end, it was not enough, and we lost to the much better team in the Boston Celtics. But I will say, not the worst game in the world. I mean, this was basically the Raptors 905 today. Quite literally, every single person except Ochai Agbaji and Chucky Hepburn, who is out with a knee injury. Literally every single person played today. All of our two-ways, all of our end-of-bench guys who've been getting no run. Oh, also Garrett Temple didn't play. That goes without saying. We saw some bright spots. We saw some, underrated players. And I was happy, especially for guys like Elijah Martin and Jonathan Mobo, who they've played incredibly well in the G League. They've warranted getting more minutes with the actual team, but just haven't been able to get those minutes because of the amount of competition and the amount of players that are competing for those minutes already. When it comes to the game, though, there were a couple of things that needed to go right for us. Number one, we had to shoot the hell out of the ball, and we actually were for a good period until we cooled off a little bit. Number two, we needed the Boston Celtics to miss some shots. They started the game 8 for 8. And number three, we just needed to bring another level of energy in the transition game. And to be quite honest, we did that. We ended up shooting 49% against a really talented Boston Celtics team with our G League team in. So, there are a lot of good things that you can take away from this. Nonetheless, it's an L. It's another L. I know at the end of the day, like at the end of the regular season, you're going to look at this record. It's going to say a loss, but the moral victories are there for the taking. Coming out of the gate, it was pretty cool to see RJ Barrett a little bit as a playmaker. I feel like he understood that he would have a lot of the attention on him, and he took that role upon himself to try finding others. And it was working early. I mean, everyone was hitting their shots. We started off incredibly. Jamal Shed, he stepped up offensively. He had his first 3 threes. He started 4 for 4 from the field. We got Elijah Martin minutes early. But the biggest issue wasn't even the offense. It was the defense early, because it seemed like everything was way too easy for the Boston Celtics. They were getting every shot at the rim wide open. They were having wide open threes. We were leaving Sam Hauser wide open. He ended up hitting his first 4 threes, and we stopped guarding him. It was insane. And what was really frustrating was it wasn't like we had someone at the end of the bench come on and they were getting hunted. Grady Dick was the one who was being hunted on defense, and he's our backup shooting guard. I thought Colin Murray-Bowles really stepped up in his role today defensively. He was the only one out there competing. He had an incredible moment today where he got a steal, passed it to, I believe it was Jacoby Walter or something. He throws up the lob right back to Colin Murray-Bowles, who absolutely posters Peyton Pritchard and forces a timeout from the Boston Celtics. We forced the Boston Celtics to take a lot of timeouts to try and halt our runs. We attempted to come back in this game many different times. It's just that the Boston Celtics, being as talented as they are offensively, they responded almost every single time. In fact, we took the lead finally, and the Boston Celtics responded promptly with a run, and that ended up being our only lead of the game, 1-point lead. They ended the half shooting 61, 56, and 83 from the line. So, you're not going to beat the Boston Celtics when they're shooting that well. In the third quarter, we started shot chucking a little bit more. I think we got really comfortable with how well we were shooting the ball. We were shooting around 40% in the first half, and it cooled down a little bit. Ended the game shooting 38% from 3, so not too much, but the third quarter was pretty bad. I will say, though, the lineup of Elijah Martin, Jamal Shed, and Jonathan Mobo, and Grady Dick was an incredible lineup to close the quarter. Defensively, they were active. They were forcing Boston into some tough shots. And I will say this again, our bench thoroughly outplayed the Boston Celtics bench that actually won the Celtics the game the last time they played us. And I'm just going to say, my player of the game for the Raptors is Elijah Martin. He is an absolute winner. He goes out there and makes winning plays every single time. He is the pure definition of hustle. And when his 3 is falling, he is such a valuable player to this team. And the fourth quarter, the Boston Celtics gave us chances to come back into the game, but we missed our own chances to try and cut the lead. And eventually, the Boston Celtics are going to burn you few. Jaylen Brown gets a couple and ones. Derek White hits a couple dagger threes. And we did a weird thing with like 2 minutes left. We essentially just gave up and stopped with the full court pressure. And we ended up, the scoreline ended up saying like 8 points, but that was basically because the Boston Celtics were milking clock and took a terrible shot at the end of the shot clock that we'd go down and get a layup. So it wasn't as close as the scoreline says, but I was very proud with the effort. But unfortunately, you can't come out of this with complete happiness. The loss, and you lose another goddamn starter in RJ Barrett, who has now officially been ruled out for the next game with an ankle sprain. The good news was the x-rays were negative, and he said that it didn't feel like it was too serious, so that's good. I assume like they're going to be very cautious with it, obviously. They nursed his knee injury very well. He finally started looking like he was coming back to the old RJ Barrett, and then he gets injured again. And God help us, because the next game is against the Philadelphia 76ers, and currently RJ Barrett and Yousuf Pearl have already been ruled out, and Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes are both questionable. So we could potentially be going into this game against the Philadelphia 76ers with Tyrese Maxey, who cooks us, with Quentin Grimes, who cooks us, with Joel Embiid, who cooks us, and we could be going into this game against them with 4 starters out. We might end up starting a lineup of who even is our starting lineup? Emmanuel Quickly, Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, Colin Bowles, Sandro Mamukelashvili. Is that our lineup? God help us if that's our lineup against Philly. From Boston side, I mean, Jaylen Brown did some incredible damage from the free throw line, especially. He went to the line like 12 times. He's just a ridiculous player. I think he needs way more love in the MVP talk. And if you're talking MVPs, Peyton Pritchard against the Toronto Raptors this season is he's got to be in the MVP talks. He's averaging like 25 points against us this season. It's ridiculous. In fact, I looked at his averages against us in previous seasons, and they were way lower than I thought. It's felt like he's been averaging 30 against us for the past 4 years. I swear every single time we play this dude, he goes off against us or he hits big threes. So to see that he averaged 16 last season, it was insane. But this season he's been averaging 25. I'm glad that we only have to play the Boston Celtics one more time this season, because I am goddamn tired of playing these dudes. For the Philly game, I mean, the only real key to the game being so shorthanded, especially if we are missing all 4 starters, we're going to have to do a similar thing that we did against the Boston Celtics when it comes to getting out and running. Hopefully we shoot the ball well again at an elite level, because that would obviously help. But our energy and our compete level needs to be off the charts if we even want to make this a game. We had to compete so freaking hard to even make this a close game against Boston. Against Philly, it's going to be a very similar thing. So our compete level needs to be high. The energy needs to be high. We need to close out possessions. Boston got way too many offensive rebounds down the stretch. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game, especially with 4 starters out. Hopefully one of Scotty Barnes or Brandon Ingram actually ends up playing. But yes, we are playing Philly next. Hopefully we can come out of this 2-game stretch against them with at least 1 win. I also forgot to mention Ochai Agbaji played 0 minutes today. A lot of speculation. He is on the trade block. That is $6 million in expiring contract. I believe that he is off the team no matter what. But if you're the Toronto Raptors, you should really seriously look into combining Ochai Agbaji's $6 million, really enticing expiring $6 million, and combining it with a young player in Grady Dick, that's $4 million, so that that's $10 million in salary that you could take back with a player who's really good. Daniel Gafford makes about $10 million. You combine a second-round pick with Ochai Agbaji and Grady Dick, and you can get a very solid player for your rotation. So just something to look out for. I don't think a trade is imminent at all for Ochai Agbaji. I think this was just a little bit of a coaching decision. Maybe it's a little bit of a hint towards the direction we're going with him, but I think it was already confirmed that he was off the team. Unfortunate for him, because he looked very promising last year, but this season has not gone well at all. So yeah, I don't think it's looking too good for Ochai. That's it for basketball, but it is the NFL playoffs. You know who I'm riding with. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. I actually have no faith, though. Today was the wild card game, as I'm recording this, between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, and the Panthers and Rams. Two incredible games, by the way. I'm so goddamn incredibly nervous for tomorrow. The Buffalo Bills play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I have no hope in us winning. Quick Super Bowl prediction because it is in the mood right now. I think it is going to be Rams versus Texans, and I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to win. I see a lot of people saying the Texans are losing to the Steelers. I don't see that happening at all. I think the Texans' defense is just genuinely so scary, and I think CJ Stroud steps up to the plate come playoff time. And the Rams, I genuinely just think, are the most complete team in the entire league, and I think they're going to win it. Honestly, everybody sucks in the NFL. And it happens to be the one year that the Bills suck as well. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow, and we have the worst team in years. God, I'm never witnessing my team winning a ring. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Go Bills.